Hello and welcome to Affinity. We're going to do a full edit now of this portrait, and at the moment it's kind of like, it's alright, but it's just like a bit ordinary. I'm trying to make it look kind of a little bit grittier without maybe overdoing it, somewhere in the middle. Gets to be a bit of taste, that is. Right, let's get going. So this is a raw, so we're in the develop module, and let's go to the basic tab here. And we've got a white in here. Can we bring anything out of this? We'll go to shadows and highlights, and if we darken the highlights, no, that just goes grey. That's actually not so good, because you just want to keep that white, because that grey will look a bit funny. Shadows, yeah, maybe a bit of darkening on the shadows. Yeah, pulling it out like that just makes it a bit, yeah, anyway. You can start actually with bright shadows, but change it later. But I'm going to go for that because it's holding the light here, mainly on the face. Maybe the black point a little bit too, just a tiny amount. With this, if I zoom into here, you know, these are good examples here of things to sharpen. And if I bring up the clarity, you can see the effect that's having there. So I'll leave that up there a little bit. We'll go some other ways as well, sort of different directions. Vibrance, pull up, Control 0 to bring that out again. Let's watch that overall. Yeah, just maybe a bit of saturation there as well. We'll go for other methods as well there. So what else have we got in here? There's a little bit of a smudge in there. So I'll use the smudge remover there. I'll take that one out. And let's go to details. There's no real noise in here, even in other areas here. It's taken with a good camera, so there, maybe detail refinement. Let's have a look at that. Radius up just a bit, and amount in further. See what the mount is doing. Don't get it too far. Middling, that'll do. Control 0, back up again, and hit develop. This takes a while, so I'll just press pause. Let's do a little bit of curves to see how that goes. And, well, bring the shadows down more. In doing this, we want to preserve the outline of the head there. So we don't want to go too far. If you go too far, then see the head disappears. Just keep the lights a little bit of contrast, that'll do. Actually, what I'm going to do here, I'll look into all the face more, is going to do a tone edit. This makes it pretty gritty, so the tone mapping there. So this takes a while, so I'll click on that one and I'll pause here. Okay, so here we are back in the tone editor, and you can see this has made that a bit brighter there because we've got the various options here. You can click on some of these and see what happens. Black and white, dramatic, goes into more detail. I think I'll start with a detailed. But actually, in fact, the two things you use most here, the tone compression, the local contrast, everything else is pretty similar unless you're using the overlays. I'll go back to the natural. Where's that say? We'll start from there, in fact. And I'm going to pull down the tone compression, just get back to that natural tones, make use of the local contrast. Look what happens when I turn this up and see how gritty it goes. In fact, all the way, that's rather strong. So I'm going to come back here to around about 50%. So you've got some grit, but it's not too grimy. There we go. Let's apply that. And I'll pause whilst that's happening. Here we go. Right, so back here. I'm going to do a little bit of high pass sharpening here, just a bit. And we go high pass. And hit the monochrome. And hit the radius up a bit. So always, I very seldom go over 1 with this. And the most common one here is linear light. How's that? Let's look at the others. Hard light, linear, maybe just hard there, or pin light. You can look at these. Way to check this is you zoom into something like the eye. That's where sharpening becomes important. So that's pin, linear. Linear is a bit too gritty there. Hard, maybe pin light. And that one's done there. If you're getting a little bit too much pixelation, remember here we're zoomed in a heck of a long way. This is a 42 megapixel image. You can always put on a tiny amount of blur, which can be a bit paradox, but literally one click up, just 0.1. No, I don't think it needs it actually. I'll just delete that. Control 0 back out again here. And we're going to put on another pixel layer here. And then you just use this for darkening. So I'll get a brush, make sure it's pretty soft, black and big enough here, but yeah, now let's make that lower opacity. Bring that down to around about 20 or so. I'll just test it by hovering over here. There we go. And then just in bits, just to darken down the background here a bit. Remember to preserve the head. I'll bring this down so this can be. There we go. Where's that? Okie doke. And here I'll click at the top, then shift click at the bottom so it draws a line, then shift click at the top, draws a line up, shift click back down just to darken this off here. If it's a bit of going off over the edge, because I'm painting onto a empty pixel layer, I'm just going to use the erase brush here, and then shift click down here just to paint out any overlay here, so that's maximally white there. This bit here, it just looks a bit grey. I'm going to put an overlay on top of that, so I'll put another pixel layer in. So I'm going to draw over that, so I'll select the image here so I can use the selection brush and go over that. It's a bit overlaid there, so I'll Alt and click back that way a bit. Those bits probably need to do elsewhere, so I will now go to the quick mask. So we go up here, get myself a paintbrush, make sure the opacity is full up, hardness up a bit, and now I can paint the edge of that, maybe hardness up a bit more. Yeah, that's more like it. Then I click there, shift click down here, and paint in that, and up the edge there. There's to go down to the corner here to tidy this up. There we go, just using left and right square bracket to change the size of the brush. And this in here, there we go, and this, just tidy up that. Control 0 there, and Q to go back out again. I'm just going to feather that slightly, so select feather. I'll put it up to, go here, I got it very quickly, type the number in, 5 pixels, there we go. Apply that, and then I'll get the flood fill in white, flood that in white, so there we go. So Control D to let that off, so that's now white. We can, okay, excuse me, and go to that layer now. I put in the wrong one. Always check the this one again, so let's click there. Now that's white on this top layer here, not on the original, so I preserve the original, then Control D. There we go, and I can then, if it's looking a little bit artificial, turn down the opacity a little bit, so it's just a little bit off white, but it's not as grey as it was before. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do another one here. I'm going to put on a channel mixer, and I'm going to do a quick teal and orange here. So turn up the red 100%, blue down 100%, then go to blue, turn the blue up 100% and the red down 100%. It's very quick fix this. Yes, it's very teal and orange, isn't it? But we just do this, we can now go down to like soft light, which will soften it a bit, and then we'll turn down the opacity to it until it's something quite reasonable. There we go. That's around about there. So that's before that and after that. That's looking good. I'm just going to load up here we go. This is the before, and there's the after. Before, after. There we go. I think that's a little bit better. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.